So for today's speech, I'm going to be going over the steps for pole vaulting. Pole vaulting is one of the more dangerous events in track and field, and there are 4 major steps that really go along with it. 1 is the approach, 2 is the plant, 3 is swing, 4 is turn, and 5 is the release. So when it comes to the approach, the vaulter tends to run backwards first away from the pit so they know where their starting position is. And they tend to only count their lefts. So if someone off the runway I was asked, they would say, hey, can you catch my 6th left? So they would go all the way down the pit, doing their normal stride, like how they would normally do it towards the pit, but just away. And then when they turn back around, most vaulters take a breath. They do a little routine of any sort just to get their mind set into the game. And then at the end of their run, at the actual beginning of their run, that approach is broken down into 2 major sections. Your first 3 steps tend to be long, lengthy, powerful strides, and then your last 3 tend to be short and choppy. And the reason it's this way is because those first 3 tend to be like the accelerant, like a slow build up, so that you have a big, powerful last couple steps, so that all of your energy goes to the last 3 or 4 steps of your vault. And then the last 3 steps, these short, quick, powerful ones, are for once you get to those last steps that you jump up into the air instead of jumping through the pit. This helps slow down your vault, and you get more out of your pole versus going straight through, where you're getting your pole to go this way versus going up and then that way. As you're on your last 3 steps, this overlaps with your plant phase. So in your plant phase, you are dropping your pole so that it's about eye level on your last 3 steps, so that by the time you're at the very end of your plant, you'll go straight up with your hands out, up in front of you, up and out in front. This is the beginning of your plant/drive phase. So during your plant phase, you're making sure that you're in the correct positions to be able to swing your body and the rest of your person forward once you get to your swing phase. But during the plant phase, this also includes the drive, which slows down the vault. It gets your body in the correct position where you have one knee driving and your trail leg out behind you, so that when you're ready to go up, you have that full swing momentum. Like when you're on a swing, when you go this way, it's a very similar idea of you're just swinging off your hands. So after that point, you're on to your swing phase. And on the swing phase, again, kind of overlaps with your plant phase, as all of them do. It's not a choppy step-by-step situation. It is a fluent motion all the way through. So on this stage of your vault, you're driving both your legs forward and bringing your hips up to the pole so that you're completely upside down. Once you're upside down, you get into your turn, which is when you'll see vaulters cross their ankles to get their body to turn on an axis, essentially, and that gets them up and over the crossbar. As they get to the release phase, that's when the hips go straight up and over to get into like a pike position with their body, and as they're falling backwards, they release their hands from the poles, throwing their hands backwards along with their torso to get over the bar and pushing away the pole, because you don't want the pole to come back to knock off the crossbar, because that counts as a miss. And then as they're falling, they try to land more on their back, because if you land on your neck, it could end in concussion or other things in that matter. Or if they land on their butt, a lot of compaction of things can mess up your spine. So just doing it that way is a little bit more safer. In conclusion, the vault is probably one of the more dangerous events, but at the end of the day, if you know all of your steps and you know how to do them correctly, the only person holding you back from doing it is yourself. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I will see you all later this week.